What's up, everybody? It's Saturday, college football rivalry day here in Michigan. We got a good one on hand, which we will get to here in the show. But before we get to that, I want to bring in my guy here, Chris. How's it going? You excited for this game or what?
Oh, I'm pumped. Yeah, pumped. It's so bad. Sometimes the anxiety and the superstition is so bad, especially Michigan and Michigan State. It's like I have to crawl into a hole and hide somewhere. I mean, I'm so superstitious. I got my little Wolverine head. I carry him everywhere I go on Saturday, Michigan State game. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but at least I'm getting it out in the open to other folks. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's a weirdo and odd in terms of superstition when it's Michigan State week. So here we are. And I'll come out of the hole here and I'll watch the game. So high hopes here, Scott.
Yeah, it should be fun. Should be a good game. As we know, we got the Woodward Network team down there in East Lansing with the tailgate show starting here at 10 o'clock up till the game kicks at noon. But should be a really fun time down there. East Lansing will be full of all sorts of blue jerseys, obviously, which I see you and I are full wear. Hey, I had to give Braylon some props here, especially after, here he's at the Woodward Sports Network with us. And, hey, his junior and senior year, man, obviously we know what he did his senior year in that overtime game with all those touchdown catches. But that was one I'll never forget. And, hopefully we can get some good luck so far this week. But before we do that, Chris, we just want to do a little housekeeping, as Beer would say, and talk about our show sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Get on over there. It's a fun way to play different types of fantasy games. You can have pick-ems. You can do like drafts. Like last night for the game, you pick 4 players, get in the draft with 3 or 4 different guys, and basically there was no quarterbacks. All kinds of fun action. You can get into hockey. You can get in college football. All kinds of different player props on there. Use our promo code WSN. Get you $10 free. Chris, who doesn't like $10 free? I know I do. Yeah, my one buddy turned his 10 into 110, so I know he's pretty excited about that. But yeah, looking forward to this game. So Chris, let's just get right into it here. But let's break down these top 25 games. The first one we have at noon is Miami at Pittsburgh. This line started at Pitt minus 11.5. It's got bumped down to 9. Over under started at 62. It's down to 61. Oh, yeah.
Minus 9.5, Scott.
Sounds fun. Well, here we are. We're at the big.
We don't want points. We want
State.
Is a good bet here.
State. I'll tell you.
Pretty clear at this point, looking at what we're wearing here. But Michigan's undefeated. So is Michigan State. He's the defense for the Wolverines here. They only allow about 14.3 points a game in this one. But again, MSU, no slouch. They only average 18.7 points a game. So it's kind of like immovable object versus what's the saying here? I'm completely slaughtering it. The immovable object against it's one of those David and Goliath kind of statements here. But to me, Michigan wins in this one. Things are never easy when Michigan and Michigan State plays. Again, as I said, I have the final 24-20. Michigan wins in East Lansing. We can party. The undefeated season continues. And then again, we set our sights, later in the season. But I know today, Saturday, going to be a tough test, and I'm looking forward to it. And again, when we're done with this broadcast, I'm heading to East Lansing. So if you're there or anybody else out there, I'll meet you at the tennis courts. If you've ever been to East Lansing, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I was going to say, there we go, donkey move again. But hey, being out the first few times I went to Michigan State, I had a little bit of fun out there. I had a snowball fight, one of the first times I was out that way. So that's a pretty good time. But Chris, I got some betting trends here for us for this game that we can talk about. The Wolverines are 2-11 against the spread in their last 13 meetings. The Wolverines are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 meetings out there in East Lansing. The under's 5-0 in the Spartans' last 5 games after allowing 20 points or less in their previous game. The Spartans are 5-0-2 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. The Sparties are 3-0-1 against the spread after allowing 20 or less points. The over is 5-0 in the Wolverines' last 5 games as a road favorite, and the over is 5-0 in the Wolverines' last 5 road games. So just some kind of trends there. But, if you look around, you got all these different books. Like I said, me personally, I think it's the kind of game you can just call up a buddy and probably convince him not even to get points here. But there's FanDuel, DK, PointsBet, MGM, BetRivers, Caesars, WinBet, Unibet, 88 Sports. I mean, they're all out there. The lines are anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5. So make sure you shop around. I really think that half, in this type game, as close as it is, generally really some smash mouth type football games, that little extra half point could really make a difference in your wager, as Chris and we all have talked about here, many times on the show. Make sure you check that out. But Chris, I think Michigan's advantage when I look at the game, for me, I think the advantage for Michigan is their run game. Obviously, I know the Spartans, they've been running the ball really well, but I just think the lines on both sides of the ball for Michigan are a little bit better than Michigan State. And I know they give we give McNamara a lot of a lot of trouble here for not throwing the deep ball, but he's just such a game manager. Doesn't really make mistakes. So I think this game could boil down to some turnovers, and I think that's where Michigan has the advantage. So I'm going to go with Michigan here today, minus the 3.5 or 4. 4.5 for me is getting to be a little bit high. I think, like I said, I just find me a friend to bet with instead of trying to force it in at a book. But should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But Chris, that's not the only game in college football. We got a couple others that we're going to have to talk about. There's a couple games here that are also at 12. We got Texas is traveling to number 18 Baylor. This game started out Baylor -2 over under 62. 59% of the money so far is coming in on Baylor. Baylor's 5-2 against the spread, and we have Texas at 4-3 against the spread. Chris, you got anything on this game here?
This one is so close to me in terms of when I wrote down what I have for the final score. Now, I have this game Baylor winning 31-28. So if you add that up, they're winning by 3 points. Baylor's minus, if you look at the bottom of the screen here, hopefully it pops up. To me, Baylor is minus 2.5 points. So I'm going to be sweating this out for what? I got a lot of other things that I'd rather focus on today on Saturday. Then it's outright 31-28 points, and this one is throwing me for a loop. So I can't get that much of a pulse on this game in terms of a betting perspective. So if you want, go Baylor money line, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think I got to lean toward the over in this game. Generally, I just got a feeling here the points are going to be scored. It went from 62 down to 61.5, but I'm going to go with the over 62 in this game here. But moving on, Chris, we have another game here at noon with number 2 Cincinnati. That sounds weird to say, number 2 Cincinnati. You would think if any team from Ohio was going to be number 2, it would not be Cincinnati. But they're looking like they're giving 27 points to Tulane at Tulane. It started at 24. It's been bet up to 27. Over under is 63. 73% of the money's coming in on Cincinnati Bearcats here. They think they're going to roll Tulane. I'm going to tend to agree with everybody. Cincinnati 7-0, 5-2 against the spread. I think Cincinnati wins here by 5 touchdowns. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, no doubt. Cincinnati's going to hang up a nickel. They're going to put up at least 50 points. I have the final being 51-10, 51-14, something along those lines. So, yeah, pretty comfortably taking Cincinnati -24 in this one. And that's about it. Nothing special.
All right, sounds good. Moving on, another 12 o'clock game in the Big Ten. We got number 10 Iowa traveling to Wisconsin. Looks like we got a very low-scoring game here that they're predicting. The over-under started at 37, Chris. Now it's down to 36. Wisconsin -3. I don't know if I've ever seen an over-under this low in a college game, but man, that's tempting to bet the over in that one. What do you think?
No doubt. I think if I'm not, I know that we're talking college football, but I think there's a game on Sunday in the NFL, the over under. Let me find it briefly. Yeah, it's the San Francisco and Chicago. That opened at 39.5 for a professional game. So to me, in a college game, this is wild. Only 37, as you see there on the screen. Iowa, they're getting the Iowa in this game, obviously they're the favorite here. And I love the idea of Iowa winning this game. Iowa, Wisconsin, it's always been a tough rivalry. Anything in the Big Ten in the month of October is kind of wild. The weather is turning. The Leafs are getting, brown and red and all that. So I love a cool, crisp game from these two. And give me Iowa here in this one to win 21-17, around there.
Yeah, I like Iowa in this spot too as well. The Hawkeyes are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 road games. That trend, generally a lot of the times the trends I really don't pay too much attention to, but there are some that I do like to kind of look at, especially with some of these college teams like road games, road stats, stuff like that. Just shows that they're pretty well coached. They're really not enamored by traveling on the road. And I got to imagine Wisconsin's a pretty tough place to play. I mean, we saw Michigan play with their jump around song, everything else. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm going to roll with the Hawkeyes here in this game. Boy, if Beer was on here, he'd probably given me some crap. But since he's not, I'm going to pick against his Badgers here. So I'm going to roll with the number 2 Hawkeyes. Moving on here through the day for some number 25 games, we have Iowa State traveling to West Virginia. This game is at 2 o'clock. Started out West Virginia +7, got bumped up to 7.5. Iowa State's getting 57% of the money on this game here. Chris, I can't say I really got a lean on this one here. That line is tough, right around 7.5. I don't think I'm interested at Iowa State. Iowa State was actually in one of our segments earlier this week. They had that kid get that touchdown taken away for that, whatever you want to call high step or taunting or whatever they said it was. But that was kind of frustrating. But Chris, I don't really have a lean on this game. What about you?
I mean, if I had to, we're broadcasting. That's what you're asked of me here. Iowa State playing in West Virginia. West Virginia is always a tough team. They're a tough out. They're a good coached game. These kids show up. They love to play as a Mountaineer here. And Iowa State kind of bummed me out, let me down a little bit earlier in the season in terms of DFS formats. Obviously, DFS betting, kind of one and the same, high risk, high reward kind of thing. I think Iowa State wins this one comfortably, 11, 12 points. I know that's an odd number to throw out here, but I'm cool with taking Iowa State -7.5, as I believed it opened up. And here on the screen, you're saying Iowa State only -7 now. Either way, I love taking the Iowa State Cyclones, I believe is their moniker there.
Yeah, that definitely is going to be a decent game. At 2 o'clock, I don't think it's probably going to get much TV. Iowa State actually isn't bad. But, West Virginia, I can't say I know really enough about West Virginia. Like I said, I didn't really have too strong of a lean there. But we can move forward. We got a couple good games here at 3:30. We got Texas Tech is traveling to Oklahoma. This game started out at 19. It's still at 19. The money's coming in even here, Chris. 51% of the money's coming in on Texas Tech, getting all those points. Over under 68 went down to 67. But I'll tell you, Chris, even though Oklahoma is 8-0, they're only 3-5 against the spread. What do you think? Do you think that's a little too much for them to be giving Texas Tech?
No. Well, yes and no. If you look at this game, I think Texas Tech hangs in this one for a short period of time. I think actually Texas Tech puts up a little bit over 30 points in this one, but Oklahoma, they're just tough. They're strong. They got it going on. They kind of ditched Spencer Rattler, and Caleb is now firmly as the quarterback, which who saw coming? Everybody talked about Spencer Rattler. Maybe the Lions will draft him. I mean, that dream is gone, right? So if you look at this game specifically, I know I get off on a tangent because I get excited about this stuff. But Texas Tech at OU, to me, the play isn't the spread here. The play to me is over 68. Again, I have the final score being about 48-30 in this one. So you're looking at almost 78 to 80 total points. So I think the over in this one smashes well early, probably at the start of the fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter. We're talking over here. We're not going to be sweating it out, waiting for a last minute touchdown or a garbage time, something like that. So give me the over here, and I've already booked it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is here, Scott.
Man, I really like this play too. This might be one of my favorite plays of the day, actually, the over. I got to agree with you here. The over is 9-1 their last 10 meetings. These two teams do like to score quite a bit. I think they're going to run an up-tempo type game. So I agree with you here. So I'd like the over as well. It's going to be one of my favorite plays. So I'm sure I will mention that one here moving forward. But Chris, also at 3:30, we have the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs on a neutral field against Florida. They're giving Florida 14 points here. Opened up at 14. It has stayed there. Over under was 50. It is now 51. Obviously, Georgia's 7-0. They're 5-2 against the spread. On this one here, Chris, I have a feeling that Georgia is just going to roll up the Florida Gators here. So I've seen the spread actually get up to 14.5 in some spots. So make sure you shop that around and try to get that number. But, just kind of looking here, I think Florida is just in for it here. I think they're in way over their head, especially against these Bulldogs. So I am going to roll with the Bulldogs here, and hopefully they can I think they're going to win by like 3 touchdowns or so.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, but when you look at it, over under 68 points is a ton. If you do the math here, you're expecting both teams to realistically, if you cut it right down the middle, you're looking at both teams to score 34, 33 points. It's just a simple math addition problem here, and I think it's absolutely going to be one-sided here. So to me, I like the under in this one, even if, as we were saying, Georgia really takes it to Florida. I don't think Florida has what it takes to kind of hang more than 20-25 points here. So to live up to their end of the bargain here, they have to put up 30 points, right? But it's again, when you look at this one, Georgia is well within their rights to put up 40 or 50 points. But to me, the play here is the under. Georgia wins comfortably, but the under comes in too, probably by 8 to 10 points. It'll be under in this one.
Yeah, Florida put a mollywhopping on them last year, won 44-28. So I gotta assume there's some paybacks that want to be had out there in Georgia, especially suffering a 16-point loss like that. And that game last year was supposed to only be a 2.5-point spread for Florida. They ended up covering that, obviously, as the dog, and went into Georgia and whooped them. So I got a feeling here Georgia is going to be hungry. They're going to want some payback. And like I said, I really like Georgia here in this spot against the Gators. Just kind of looking forward here to some other games we have here at 3:30. We have, let me look, lost my spot here. We got Oregon at 3:30 at home, coming up with the Buffaloes coming into town, the Colorado Buffaloes. This game opened up 26.5. It's down to 24.5 for Oregon. We have 49 is the over-under. Oregon 6-1. We obviously see them beat the Buckeyes. They're only 2-5 against the spread. Colorado isn't much better. They're 2-5 against the spread and also have a 2-5 record. Chris, what do you think here? You think Colorado's in a little bit over their head with these Ducks?
Yeah, absolutely. Oregon's going to hang 40 points here, and I'd be hard pressed for Colorado to put up more than 7 points here. So I have the final score, literally 2 points less than the total over under in here. Colorado, they fall to, I believe, what did I say the total points was? About 40-7 in this one. So you're looking at it, that equals 47. So I love the under, and given the point comparison here, I'm completely comfortable taking Oregon minus 26.5 points.
Yeah, so they did play each other in 2019. They did not play each other last year. Oregon won 45-3 at home, and that game had a similar type spread at the time. So I really like Oregon here in this spot. So I am going to roll with some Ducks at home. I think that they end up winning by close to 4 touchdowns, so that 24.5 does not scare me one bit at all. Chris, moving forward at the 4 o'clock slate, we have Duke at Wake Forest at 4 o'clock here. This Michigan game will be over. If we get a victory, Chris, after these 4 o'clock games, I might be looking out one eye after having a bunch of beers all day and all having some excitement. But this game here, we have Wake starting -15 up to 16.5. Opened up over under 69. Now it is at 71.5. Wake Forest 7-0, 3-4 against the spread. Duke is 3-4, 4-3 against the spread here. Man, they expect a lot of points here to be scored. Man, this one's almost double what that Wisconsin game is. But looks like this one here might be fun to watch. But I think Wake Forest here is probably going to roll them up pretty good too.
Yeah, no doubt. Wake Forest -15, sign me up, and the under in this one. 69 points is a lot. I have the final score here around 42-14. So if you do the math, it's just shy of 69 total points. So yeah, Wake Forest in a rout. Duke is great, but this is a football game. This isn't basketball. This is an NCAA basketball tournament here. So Wake Forest has been very strong so far this season. I always like to stack them in DFS format. So what's better than doubling down, stacking the Demon Deacons, and then throwing some money on them -16. As I said, final score 42-14, something along those lines. Wake Forest big time in this one.
Sounds good. I like it. We got number 16 SMU at 7 o'clock traveling to Houston. This one here opened up Houston -1, been bet down to basically a pick 'em. 60% of the money are coming in on SMU. This one here I think is going to be a tough game. We got Houston 6-1. SMU is 7-0. SMU 5-2 against the spread. Houston is 4-3 against the spread. I think this game here is going to be a pretty good game when you look at their past trends, stuff like that. The home team's 4-0 in their last 4 meetings. Head-to-head, they did play in 2019. They did not play last year. SMU has won the last 2 games here, 34-31, 45-31. And in the one 2 years ago, they were 28-point dogs here. But I really like SMU in this spot against Houston. I do know it's tough to travel and go on the road here, but this game is tough. But I think I'm going to roll with SMU in this spot.
Yeah, I'm with you. And hopefully what I say, I know you'll agree with me, but anybody that's watching this is how my mind works, right? In the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about Iowa, Wisconsin. I couldn't get I couldn't get a hold on it. The game was very close, and it's right at the same time as Michigan State. I'm nervous. I want all my energy in watching Michigan State. When this game comes around, we already know the winner of the Michigan State game. And if I've done well up to this point, this is the perfect kind of game to watch. I think it's going to be very close. Yes, I have SMU winning 31-28. So you're looking at a total of about a 3-point difference here. So again, as you said, pick them 31-28. So you're looking at the over-under can go either way. The point spread can go either way. These are the kind of games that could, grab me. And so, you know what, Chris, this is what you want to do. You had an exciting afternoon. Let's double down and make it an awesome evening here. So I'm going to bet SMU, and I'm going to bet the under in this one. It's wild. One is not like the other here, but I'm with you. I love SMU minus the point here.
Sounds good. At 7 o'clock, we got another one. We got Kansas at number 15, Oklahoma State. The line started at 31, down to 30.5. Over under opened up at 57, down to 54. OK State 6-1, 5-2 against the spread. But man, Kansas has been really struggling. They're 1-6 and 1-6 against the spread. 30 points. That is quite a bit of points. But I will say one thing here, that the last few meetings that we've had, the favorite is just been crushing 6-0. Obviously, Oklahoma State, that being, I would doubt that Kansas is probably favored in any of those games. The over's 5-1 in their last 6 meetings as well. But just kind of looking, last year, OK State rolled up Kansas 47-7 in Kansas. The spread at that time was 18.5. So, Chris, here, I think them coming into OK State, I think we're going to see the similar type game where you're going to see like a 47-7 type final. So I'm going to roll with OK State in this spot here.
Yeah, this is bad news for Kansas, and oh well, I have no dog in this fight. Yeah, Oklahoma State wins big in this one. I think that Kansas. There's a factor here where I don't know if Kansas scores a single point. I only have them hitting a field goal. The final score being around 31 or 34-3 in this one. So if there's some sort of parlay or some sort of weird bet that you can put up against Oklahoma State pitching a shutout in this one, I would seriously consider it here. But for fantasy purposes and betting purposes, sit back and watch OK State just smash Kansas in this one. I do have my eyes on Tay Gibson. He's a young up-and-coming stud wide receiver for OK State. Mentioned him in some DFS circles last week. He had a very nice kind of a toe drag swag kind of touchdown in the back of the end zone last week. He's kind of coming up. So this is the kind of game, Oklahoma State fans, you can sit back, relax, and just kind of pick what you want to do during the game because it's going to be a blowout. Kansas doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, Kansas is bad. I agree with you. I think they're going to roll them. But here at 7 o'clock, we got number 9 Mississippi going to number 21 Auburn. We got an SEC battle here. The line started Auburn -1. Now it's at Auburn -3. Over under is 66. Mississippi is 6-1, 4-2, and 1 against the spread. Auburn is 5-2. Chris, I think here, most 60-some% of the money is coming in on Mississippi from what I can see. And I will say one thing here. The road team is 4-0-1 and against the spread their last 5 meetings. Mississippi is 5-1 in their last against the spread as a road underdog. So, Chris, I'm not really a believer in Auburn at this point here. So I am going to take the underdog and go with Mississippi here in this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. You're telling me Ole Miss is getting 3 points in this? That's what it opened at. I should verify my notes to what you have here because I've been kind of off a point or two in the duration of the broadcast. But I write it down when it all opens on, the following week, Monday, Tuesday, and we go from there. Same mindset. The final score is the final score. And Ole Miss in this one, I think they win by exactly 3, maybe 4 points in this one. So you're telling me Ole Miss is going to win outright and they're getting points. I think this one is kind of up in the air for a lot of folks because the Ole Miss's stud quarterback Matt Corral is still. I don't know if he's going to play. This kid is fantastic. He has everything it takes to make it on the next level here, but I don't think he's going to be active and play in this game for Ole Miss. So that's why you're getting some love and you're getting a little bit of the sharps kind of gravitate towards Auburn in this one. Regardless, Ole Miss wins, so I'm going to take them with the points to win outright.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. Also at 7 o'clock, we got another SEC battle. We got Kentucky, number 12 Kentucky, going down to Mississippi State here. This game actually was Mississippi State +1. Now it's Mississippi State -1, over under 47. Kentucky is 6-1 and 6-1 against the spread. Mississippi State 4-3, 3-4 against the spread. This one here is kind of tough. I was looking at this one a little bit earlier. I can't say that I really have any kind of lean either way on this stuff here. I can tell you that the home team is 7-0 against the spread their last 7 meetings, and they're also under has hit 4-0 in their last 4 meetings. So if I was to lean on anything, just kind of looking here, I think I would lead the under here 47 in this game and just go from there. I think both teams are going to run the football, and we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, I'm going to go with the under in this one, but I wouldn't say I'm really strong about it.
Yeah, I'm with you to a certain extent. People, casual bettor looks at, oh my God, Kentucky's number 12 and they're playing an unranked Mississippi State team. Mississippi State is the product of the SEC. They're strong, whether they're not ranked or not here. In this one, I think the University of Kentucky wins, but it's close. We're talking like a difference of 3 to 4 points. Final score-wise, I have it 28-24 in favor of Kentucky. So that would mean I'm kind of liking the Kentucky Wildcats plus the 1 point in this one.
Sounds good. At 7:30, we have the North Carolina Tar Heels traveling down to up to Notre Dame, number 11 Notre Dame. This game opened up at 62.5. Over under the spread was 3.5. No really movement. Notre Dame is getting 70% of the money coming in on them so far. 6-1 on the season. 4-3 against the spread. We got UNC is 4-3, 3-4 against the spread. This game here, Notre Dame, At home, I think it's going to be tough for Carolina to handle. Carolina does have a really good quarterback. I do think there's going to be some points scored here in this game, but they did play last year. Notre Dame ended up winning 31-7. I'm sorry, 31-17. So I think Notre Dame here is in a good spot, but I'm going to roll with the over in this one here.
Yeah, I'm with you. And there's something about North Carolina and their quarterback that you mentioned, Sam Howell. I don't know why. Like, I love watching this kid play, and I'd love for him to be a Detroit Lion, but that's way down the line here in the future. In terms of this game here, Notre Dame -3.5. This is one of those weird circumstances here where I think Notre Dame does win the game, but North Carolina still covers. I have the final score being about 31-30 in favor of North Carolina, but with the points, North Carolina covers here. So one way or another, I'm with you over. And I still love North Carolina with the points. They lose the game, but they cover if that means anything.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think this game's good. I think that game's going to be pretty high scoring. I think you might see both teams in the mid-30s and even in the 40s. But at 7:30, we got a battle of Louisville going to number 25, NC State. This one here opened up at 59, been bet down to 56 as far as the over-under. NC State -7 is now at -6.5. 59% of the money is coming in on NC State. Looking here, they're 5-2 straight up. At Louisville is 4-3. Both teams are 4-3 against the spread. Just kind of looking here at some past games here that they played against each other. They did not play in 2020. They played in 2019. Louisville ended up winning 34-20 in NC State. And at that time, Louisville was plus -4.5. So just kind of looking here, I don't really think I have a strong lean on this game here. Can't really say I've been paying attention too much to either one of these two teams. So this one here, we can't bet on every game. So I think I'm going to pass on this one. But if anything, I did take notice that over-under dropped from 59 to 56. So it looks like some money's coming in on the under, Chris.
Yeah, and that's the way I'm leaning too. Again, we're in lockstep. We hadn't talked much during the week, so it's not like we synchronized our notes or we said, "Hey, let's totally skip a game here." But I'm with you. Can't bet on every game, and I'm good. I could take a pass on this game, but again, feet to the fire here. I would prefer the under in this one. But I do think, however, NC State wins here at home. And give me the under and give me the NC State money line.
Sounds good, Chris. Now we got a game here that stole our limelight for our state rivalry. This game should have been at 7:30 at East Lansing. We could have had a night game there. I don't know if they were just afraid about all those people tailgating over there.
All the kids. I don't know. Yep. No one's going to survive.
Right. I don't know if we could have handled that. But, hey, Penn State and Ohio State got that primetime slot over our rivalry game here. But just looking here, Penn State's getting 59% of the money. OSU started out at -17. Now they're down actually they're up to 19.5. This line opened up at 59.5 over under. Now it's at 60.5. Penn State 5-2, 4-3. OSU 6-1, 4-2-1 against the spread. I don't know, Chris. It's tough to go into the horseshoe. They already lost once there. Obviously, we saw to Oregon. But I can say I don't think OSU's defense is what it has been in the past, even though they have been playing a lot better here recently. Chris, I got to lean here to Penn State. I'm going to take all those points here. I just think that is way too many. Penn State's going to be upset. They just lost to Illinois. Obviously, they were looking ahead to this game. So I think you're going to get a fired up Penn State team. They're going to be upset. They're going to be wanting to just roll up Ohio State. I think you're going to get their best shot from them. So I am going to take all those points there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. Ohio State wins the game, but it's that rare occurrence where the team in real life wins the game and the opposing team is still able to cover. So give me Penn State and the points. This one, I think it'll be a little bit closer than folks think it'll be. I have the final score being around 38 to 30, something along those lines here. So Penn State plus those points, no brainer for me. Smash it. Already booked it in a parlay.
Yeah, Ohio State won last year 38-25. The year before they won 28-17. So Obviously, let's see here. They have won 4 in a row against Penn State. I think the last time they won, if I'm not mistaken, it was with Barkley over there. I think he ran the opening kickoff back, if I'm not mistaken. That was a few years back, and a lot has happened in between there for my old brain to remember all that stuff. But this one here should be a good game, Chris. I got a feeling after I drink all these beers today, and we're ready for our big game here and the excitement we're going to have. I might have to take me a little nap in between to get ready for this one here at 7:30 because I do not want to miss this one. 2 teams that we are both going to be playing here moving forward. So obviously a game that we're all going to want to watch as fans as well. And hey, if the Buckeyes lose, it's always fun to see that. But Chris, we got one last game. We'll give a free couple best bets before we can run out of here and start this fabulous rivalry day and get some excitement here for us and get this game in. But we got one more game to go over. It's at 10:30, the late game. Fresno State at number 20, San Diego State. Really no line movement. Opened up at -1. It's at 44.5. 69% of the money is coming in here on San Diego State. They're 7-0, 5-2 against the spread. I'm going to take the home team here, San Diego State, -1. I'm going to just take that, and hopefully here at the end of the day, I might throw that one in a parlay or two today just to have that late game. And if you got a hedge, you got a hedge. I do like these closer games like that. If so, you can get some Fresno State on the money line. But definitely like some San Diego State here and might throw them in some late parlays for myself.
Yeah, it's a great move, and same thing. We're in sync here, having not talked for several days here. I think San Diego State wins this game by 10 with ease, so -1 point. That's basically a pick 'em, and you're looking at the home team, the ranked home team compared to the road team, Fresno State. Not far of a drive. I mean, San Diego is gorgeous, but you look at this one, 38-28 final score. Give me San Diego State, and I wouldn't mind the over on this one. 46.5 to me seems a little light given both of these teams' offenses and in the propensity to put up points in this one. So San Diego State -1 and the over here, Scott.
Sounds good. Chris, before we get out of here for this day today, let's give the people some picks here. I'm going to give mine out. I have 2 picks that I really like today. I'm going to roll with that over in the Texas Tech and Oklahoma game, over 67. I really like that. I'm going to go with that one as one of my favorites. And then I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bearcats at home here, giving up all those points. I really like Cincinnati is going to Tulane, my fault. I think they're going to win by 5 touchdowns, like I said, number 2 team. I think they're going to roll them up. So I am going to definitely give them points away and take Cincinnati. And Chris, we obviously got to give a prediction on the score of the big game. I think Michigan's going to have some fun today with the Sparties. I am going to go Michigan 28, and I'm going to go the Sparties 20. I think Michigan gets them by a touchdown.